The crisis rocking the People's Democratic Party has escalated to the Governors Forum of the party following the expulsion of the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Wike, and 10 other high-ranking leaders over alleged anti-party activities. The decision was taken at the PDP's 20th National Convention at the main bowl of the Lekon Salami Stadium, Adamasingba, Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. Meanwhile, Governor Agbu Kefas of Taraba State will formally defect from the People's Democratic Party to the All Progressives Congress on Wednesday, November 19. A chieftain of the All Progressives Congress in Zamfara State, Umar Moriki, has been reportedly killed by gunmen suspected to be armed bandits. Moriki was reportedly attacked and shot dead on Saturday morning along the Gusau-Safe highway near Fegi village in the Safe local government area while traveling from Gusau to Kaduna. Moriki held several key political positions during his lifetime, including as Vice Chairman of the Zurmi Local Government Area, Director General of a state agency, and Special Advisor on Rural Electrification. And finally, Cameroonian opposition leader Issa Chiroma Bakari is currently under the watch of Nigerian security operatives in Yola, Adamawa State capital, according to a BBC report. This is as Nigeria declined a request from Cameroonian authorities to hand him over to the country. Although a reliable source had told Daily Trust on Wednesday, November 5, that he had since moved to Abuja, the newspaper was unable to confirm if he was still in Abuja as of Wednesday night. Joining us on Political Brief to discuss these stories is Arise Director of News and Politics Editor, Sumna Sambo. Good morning, Sumna, and thank you for joining us today for Political Brief.
Thank you so much. Good morning to our viewers.
Good morning, Sumna. Well, we could say PDP convention the morning after. We've been discussing that all through the weekend and this morning. Just to ask for your take, what you think, and what next for the People's Democratic Party. And then as for the opposition leader in Cameroon, who is now in Nigeria, well, it's to be expected that he's now seeking asylum, as it were, in Nigeria. After all, the authorities in Cameroon have made it clear that they will be held responsible for the outbreak of protests after that presidential election, which Paul Biya was declared to have won. But the right to asylum is a basic international right. So the Nigerian government is right to say, well, they are not going to hand him over to Cameroon. But, you know, what do you think?
Thank you so much, Dr. Abati. As to the PDP National Convention, I think from what we've seen here, it's all about subterfuge politics being played by political leaders in the main opposition party. And you will see that a whole lot of people have been talking about the legality or otherwise of the convention. But generally, you will see that if we are to go by what the law books actually say, I mean, specifically the Electoral Act, Section 82 of the Electoral Act clearly states that INEC doesn't necessarily need to be at that convention, as some people have been saying. What they need to do is to ensure that the political party in focus, it may be PDP, APC, any other political party, has issued the 21-day notice. And once that 21-day notice was issued, signed by the national chairman, signed by the national secretary, as recognized by INEC, then INEC would have deemed it to have fulfilled the requirements of the law for holding a convention, whether it's a national convention or a special convention or whatever level of convention. But for this one, especially in terms of it being an elective convention by the PDP, in terms of that Section 82 of the Electoral Act, I mean, the PDP fulfilled that. But of course, the issues that we now have are the courts of coordinate jurisdiction, all issuing out different court orders. And then, of course, INEC would have been confused by this, and INEC deciding to stay away, I think, is just the best for INEC not to be looking as if it's actually working against the decisions of the courts, because which of the courts will it follow? But if it's to the legality of the law, I mean, it's not compulsory that INEC is meant to be at that convention. But when you look at the issues of the disciplinary, of members, the decision to expel Nyesom Wike and all other members that were, expelled is something that may be very, very controversial in the long run when it's tested in the court of law. Because if you look at section 57, subsection 6 of the PDP constitution, and I just want to read that, it says that any decision taken against a member who has not been informed of the charges against him or has not been given any opportunity of defending himself shall be null and void. Well, this is what the political party leaders have given themselves in their party. And so there's a likelihood that Wike may be going to court to challenge his expulsion alongside these other people. But I've spoken with some party leaders who said that Wike is on record as saying that he was going to work against the interests of the PDP by ensuring that President Tinubu is re-elected in 2027. And he has said it, that as far as he's concerned, that PDP doesn't stand a chance. Now, if you would have also listened to some other statements made by members of the BOT, you would have seen that there was a committee, a reconciliation committee that was set up by the BOT led by Ambassador Hassan Adamu, which had former chief of staff to Jonathan, being on that committee as secretary. And they went to Wike and were told that Wike actually said that it's only on the condition that the PDP doesn't present a presidential candidate in 2027. Now, some of these party leaders said that that's an affront against the PDP for him to have said that, or it's a fight to finish and all of that. But in all of this, we are also hearing that Wike will be going ahead with his own group, camp, or faction, or however you may want to put it this week, to now want to counter-expel members and do a whole lot of things and so on. So, well, it all goes to the issues of internal democracy in our political parties, and then, of course, the state of the health of the judiciary in Nigeria. I would have thought that the judiciary will have a platform whereby when statements or court orders, in this case, it's rulings, or court orders are issued, there will be a platform, an electronic platform where courts of coordinate jurisdiction will know that this has been issued in one court and then another judge will not go ahead and do that. But you can see that it's a whole lot of mess. And so as it stands now, it's good to hear that the new national chairman is saying that he's going to ensure that there will be discipline in the party. And so we all wait and see how things play out. But on the issues of Cameroon that you raised, well, the latest information we have is that Bakari Chiroma has gone back to Cameroon. He's in the northern part of Cameroon, in Garua specifically, and he's not in Yola or in Abuja, but he had been in Nigeria. He fled to the northern part of Nigeria, specifically Yola, Adamawa, where he stayed there for quite some time. And within this instance, the Nigerian authorities have to see how they manage this very carefully. I mean, President Bola Tinubu himself was a political refugee at some point in time. So if this is happening, there has to be a win-win situation as to how to resolve this particular issue between Nigeria and Cameroon. But Nigeria should not allow this political asylum seeker, if it does seek political asylum in Nigeria, to be left to the wings, because we all know that a whole lot of people are tired of the rule of Paul Biya, and this will be, a situation whereby, it could be a very difficult situation for the country. So Nigeria must ensure that the political situation in Cameroon is properly managed so that that country does not, lead to a situation whereby separatist movement will take over. Remember the Ambazonian movement that's ongoing now in Cameroon, saying that they want to leave Cameroon. And then Nigeria has a special interest in Cameroon because, in the 1960s, there was there was a decision as to, both northern and southern Cameroon, whether they will be a part of us. Some of them agreed to be a part of, which is now Adamawa State. And then this is where we are at the moment. So Nigeria should take a special interest in the politics of Cameroon.
All right, thank you so much, Sum. Now we are completely out of time. I wish you could just say, a bit on Umar Moriki, Zamfara State. But can you maybe just a sentence on that? Very sad news coming in from there. Suspected bandits have killed a chieftain of the APC. If you can just say a brief sentence on that, please.
Yeah, I mean, this just shows to us that politics aside, the issues of insecurity needs to be taken very, very importantly by the APC-led federal government. Look at what's happening in the northwest, northeast, and then the north central of the country. When we talk about the federal government taking action against bandits, taking action against anti-state actors, this is what we usually talk about. You may say you are in the governing party and you feel that you are shielded, but nonetheless, this can happen to anyone. Such a sad development that he was leaving a meeting that was, brought together by the Minister of State for Defense, and these bandits, they don't care whether you're a Muslim, you're a Christian, you attended a meeting with the Minister of State for Defense or not. I mean, if the Minister of State for Defense has protection, you as a party member or leader, do you have protection? So we need to really get our country back away from these non-state actors.
All right. Well, thank you so very much, Sumna Sambo. See you again next week, Monday, for Political Brief.